any kind of vehicle larger than a compact vehicle have to squeeze into this little section not to be hit. I try to always put my blinker on so that people know that I'm going to be turning. They need to change lanes or slow down, and many people do, but I've had several squealing brakes behind me as people have almost rear-ended me. And that's been my concern for the safety of my children and where I live, and I love our neighborhood. But this last month, we actually had a person in our neighborhood was hit. Their compact car was completely sent across the waiting section where we have this little piece for us to wait to turn in. Somebody didn't pay attention, didn't see them, and completely smashed their rear end, sent them across the lane. And I'm concerned because I don't want that to be me or my family or my children next. And so what I'm asking is I would like some consideration to be put into or some steps to be taken into place so that we could put a turn lane in. I know that right now it's a 2-lane divided highway with grass in the middle with the median. If you go past the storage buildings in front of the nursing home and down to Walmart, it actually has a center that you would call a turn lane, a turning lane that goes both directions. And that seems very safe. Going into Walmart, you have somewhere to pull over, somewhere to get out of the way. But given the amount of traffic that's now currently traveling on that Wrangler Boulevard, for the safety of our growing neighborhood, we have new homes being built currently in our neighborhood. I would like to see something done in order to be putting a turn lane in or some way for us to be safer. I'm not arguing the 50 miles an hour because Lord knows we all travel 50 on that road. I just want somewhere that I can safely be off to turn into my neighborhood. So if there's any questions you have of me at this point. My only other consideration, and I did talk to one of the ladies over here already, is right now at the intersection of Williams and Wrangler, there is a light that is non-functioning. And it is pitch dark, so Chris, when you go home tonight, check it out. It is pitch dark. You cannot even see the turn lanes to go in there. So never mind the fact that I now have to sit there to turn into my neighborhood. No one is going to see me except for my car lights sitting there. I have made this request. They said they would come out and mark the light, and they would have to have OG&E come out and change the light. My point is, I'm pretty sure it's an LED light, and this time last year, I called at the same time to report the light was out. So this is the second time I've called now to have this. It was taken care of, and it's out again. And I thought LED lights were supposed to last longer than 1 year. And so I'm concerned about what kind of light is there, how it's being maintained and maintained, and I'm concerned about the safety of the citizens as they turn into our neighborhood. So,
Mike, that being a state highway, we're restricted on what we can do, are we not?
We are restricted, but some years back, if Chris will remember, this was brought to the council, and we've already developed plans. We have a set of approved plans already.
But it all has to be approved by them.
I think it went to the state, and the state said, okay, but we're not going to help you pay for it or something like that.
Yeah.
That turning lane to meet ODOT requirements was around $150,000.
Well, originally we had problems at Long John Silver's because coming out, they had to go the other way. They couldn't come across.
But we do have plans for that turning lane for that particular intersection.
So,
and the light she's talking about, it did get fixed. It went out. We called it in again today.
I called in today.
Called Janetta today.
Yes.
And we called it back in today, and that's OG&E, so we can just follow up on that.
Okay.
So I just encourage you to decide what is the life worth at that intersection, because I'm guaranteed if there's not one's been taken, there's going to be one soon.
Well, what also makes it worse down there on the Eastgate part is you have people who are making U-turns to go back over to Long John Silver's, and they don't know how to properly make a U-turn. So you get two cars in the wrong lanes, and you can't see oncoming traffic, and it just kind of creates a...
We've already did the engineering for us, so.
Well, everything she said is a concern.
Everything just like she said was.
I love this community, and I love being here, and I don't want where I live to be a detriment to my kids and my family. And I was very moved whenever I saw somebody else's car being plowed through that intersection. I lost my dad a year ago in a car accident. And what if that was somebody's loved one? I would aim for that again. I would ask you to do proactive measures to prevent that from happening.
I would also like for us to reconsider the speed limit on that road also. I mean, when that speed limit was set at 50, there wasn't anything out there. You know, a lot of it was still open pasture. and a lot's developed in that part of town, We come into town doing 45 and then turning can go 50.
Well, part of that is 45 now, is it
Just the
not?
part right in front of
In
Walmart.
Walmart, yeah.
And I think that's still a little too fast for that area.
Are there any other appearances or petitions from the audience? Jay, you might get with Steve and see, I know Chris has had some concerns, and I think quite a few people have had some concerns. Let's maybe look at putting that on next month's agenda as an actual item, and then that way we can discuss, it's one of those deals, either we can get financing for it or we can't, but at least that'll give true discussion and some ability to get that taken care of.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Under bids, number 2, consideration possible action to approve the annual contract renewal with Blackboard Connect for emergency warning services at a cost of $5,541.13. This is a budgeted item.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Dee Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Bill Wantland,
Yes.
Susan Hammond,
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Gary Hout,
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Number 3, consideration possible action to approve soliciting bids for a new roof at Maple Grove Cemetery for the Strother Chapel.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Dee Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Bill Wantland,
Yes.
Susan Hammond,
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Gary Hout,
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Under current business, number 4, consideration possible action to approve extending opening hours at the library as proposed by the library board and city staff. The proposal includes opening to the public an hour earlier each morning on weekdays at 7:30 a.m. rather than 8:30 a.m. and closing an hour later on Thursdays at 7 p.m. The additional 6 hours per week of opening time will be gained through rearrangement of staff schedules and will not require any additional payroll costs.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please, Jay.
Dee Dee Patterson,
Yes.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Bill Wantland,
Yes.
Susan Hammond,
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Gary Hout,
Yes.
Jeff Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Under reports, city attorney.
Nothing.
Ward 1, Susan Hammond.
I don't have anything tonight.
Ward
I
1,
usually do.
Bill Wantland.
Just that, two things. One, again, to thank our wonderful staff and city employees for all that they do. And two, just to reiterate what the mayor suggested, that we be sure that this question about Wrangler Boulevard and a turn lane be put on the agenda for consideration. That is a real serious problem.
Ward 2, Gary Houk.
Just like to thank the employees too and the citizens. Thank you very much.
Jeff Griffin. Tim Poplin.
Nothing, thanks.
Chris.
Well, I want to speak on something tonight that doesn't really directly affect the city council, but it affects everybody in this town. And I know a lot of people are aware, but I just still like to speak on something because I feel like, it's kind of my duty to look out for all the citizens of this town in my position. If you haven't been participating in any discussion regarding our school system, please avail yourself to every resource you can to become aware. There are those in the community who would have you believe that the school board's only responsibility is to do what's best for the students. I agree. The students' education, safety, and well-being should be their number one priority. After all, I have 3 children in Seminole schools, one of whom attends the current high school as a freshman. Unfortunately, the decisions of this school board affect more than just these children. They affect our entire community. I have great concern about the motives of 3 of the current school board members. What is good for the school is good for the city, and vice versa. You may dispute this fact if you want, but when children leave Seminole and never return, it is reflective of the community, not just the school. The administration, faculty, and staff deserve our utmost appreciation and gratitude for making the best of this bad situation, but the current makeshift facility is unacceptable. Also unacceptable would be the use of the school's funds to renovate any part of the old school without complete plans and cost estimates which may very well top that of the construction of a new high school. It would be completely irresponsible to put 1 cent into that building without the voters' consent. Do you want your tax dollars spent so frivolously? Do you want the children to be put in a building that has only been partially renovated? Do you want 3 board members to make decisions that will have long-term effects to this community? I think that a new high school is what is best for the community and its future. Yes, I know the vote to place a new high school on Harvey Road was defeated, but I don't think that everyone who voted no would vote for sinking untold amounts of money into the old one either. Yet it seems as though the majority on the school board do not want to find this out. Finally, it is one thing when a business is considering Seminole as a home and comes to our city, looks at our school system, and then decides not to locate here. Don't get me wrong, we lose out on jobs and revenue for the city and the school, but when an industry that is already part of our community is considering moving out of Seminole because of what is going on with our school system, which is currently controlled by the wants and desires of 3 board members, I become infuriated. We lose the industry, we lose the jobs, and we lose good, hardworking citizens of the community who choose to relocate as well. I have a duty to every citizen of Seminole, both adults and children. This is the reason I'm saying this tonight. There is a regular school board meeting tomorrow at 5 p.m. You have to sign up to talk before the meeting. I encourage every citizen who has something to say to stand up and speak. Unlike the city council, the school board does not allow you to speak on a topic when they discuss and vote on it. I am also of the understanding that when they have special meetings, citizens are not allowed any input at that meeting. That may be where some of these important issues are made, so I would encourage you to speak at the regular meeting regardless of what the topic is if it has something to do with the school. Once again, I encourage everyone who isn't following what's going on to become involved. There is much at stake, and everyone needs to be involved to make sure that the school board gets it right. Time is not a luxury we have. Our future is being educated in a structure that wasn't designed for this purpose. How long do you think it will take to squash our children's pride when the school board won't support giving them a new high school, but rather places them in a grocery store?
Here, here.
D.D. Patterson, this can be a little hard to follow.
I agree. Well, I'm thankful for our people that work for the city. They do a wonderful job. And I don't know how Steve does it, but he always selects the right people and put them in the right spot. So I pat him on the back every time I get a chance, and I'll pat him on the back again tonight. That's all I have.
I want to add just a couple of things. I think one of the problems we have when it comes to what Chris has said about the school is I haven't seen enough information to even know, the thought process. What are we looking at? I haven't seen the school board relate to us. This is what we would like to do. This is what we're looking at. At this point, although we've gotten some bids on what it costs to repair this or repair that, and I still don't see any direction that we're headed. And the problem is even if you renovate, if you construct, you're looking at 2 years down the road before anything is completed. It makes it very tough if you have a sophomore that is a student, and they'll be in the best yet high their entire career. That makes it tough for high school. And so hopefully we can get something going on that. That's really all I had as far as that goes. And then we have an executive session, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments?
Ditto.
All right. If I can get a motion to go into
So moved.
second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll go into executive session.